we like to put on the facade sometime, and we like to look like we've got it all together, especially in this day with the social media world. And for everybody lives this perfect little life, I call it the highlight reels. And they show all the high times. With that, I think it's that much more pressure that we got to appear to have it all together.
Yep.
And the reality is, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to face a time that you're going to have some struggles along the way. Find somebody to fight with you.
No shame,
for
right?
the right thing.
No shame. Get up from where you are today, make a phone call, reach out to somebody,
Make a call.
Get the help you need because God's not finished with you yet.
Your home, it matters. You're there to make a difference.
Well, hello. It's Home Matters time. You
Home
excited?
matters.
You got your Home Matters shirt on today.
I do.
You like that shirt, don't you?
I love this shirt. I love a good t-shirt, sweatshirt anyway. You know, I love cold weather too. So.
So you like long sleeves?
Yep.
Maybe we need to get some more. Hey.
Yeah, how about holding our microphones today?
I was going to ask if anybody noticed anything different.
It's a new little twist, I guess they put on us, but
yeah, well,
I don't know how to do this.
Stop it. People that aren't watching, just listening, they don't know what in the world you're doing right now. We're just gonna try it, okay? See how it works, maybe a time or two, and go from there. But anyway, Home Matters podcast number 187.
Yep. Glad you're here with us today.
I listened to a Home Matters podcast this morning. I actually did.
Didn't you?
Yeah, and I mean, it was on parenting. I thought it was pretty good.
Did you? You finished parenting for the parenting side. You're grandparenting now.
Yeah, I'm grandparenting.
You always parent,
but well, it was
older kids.
That's what I was about to say. It was on parenting and grandparenting, and it was. It came out actually a couple months ago, but I did. I thought it was good, and while I was listening, I was thinking, Lord, thank you for making that a good podcast because
you didn't feel like
it's not
good?
Us. No, I did. I did. I'm just saying.
The podcast, you didn't think it was
I
good?
don't remember because it's been a while. I'm just saying. I thank the Lord that He put something in that actually spoke to me. So we're hoping that's what's happening right now or happening today with this podcast. And I think this is a pretty good topic we're talking about today because a lot of times I know in home, family life, marriage, people get in hard places, need help, but refuse to ask for help. You ever known anybody do that?
Oh, yeah. Yep. I think that, people get in places where they feel almost as if, it's a small thing.
Mm-hmm. I'm scooting your mic up. I don't know if we need to or not.
Too loud,
but well,
again, it's the first time I've done this,
down.
So they can tell us later.
They can turn us down, yeah.
What our mic levels are like. But again, hopefully they're not bad on you out there listening. But, I think that it's easy for us to live in a place where, it's almost like we're ashamed or
for sure
we're embarrassed if we have issues.
Right.
And how silly is that?
That's silly, but I think that's the trick of the enemy on us, like you really shouldn't say anything because you'll just look like a failure or terrible husband or wife or parent or whatever. But, all of us at some point or the other, we could use some help, right? But I think it's that shame, that being ashamed that you talk about, that keeps people from reaching out for help. And, shame in itself, it'll cause us to hide. It'll cause us to isolate. It'll cause us to pull back and, to kind of go into a shell, I guess. But I think the Bible's clear about the importance of us being willing to ask for help, to get help, to find to seek godly counsel.
I always tell couples before they get married, I said, remember what I'm saying to you. One day you will need somebody to help you.
Yep,
in your marriage, in your parenting, you're going to make sure that you realize, and I always tell them, look, we'll be here. Somebody will be here. If I'm dead and gone, somebody will be here, that will be able to come alongside of you to encourage you, to maybe
Yeah.
Just keep some accountability. Just don't be
That's
afraid
always
to
good.
ask for help. That's the thing. And I think that it's easy for us because, again, we like to put on the facade sometime, and we like to look like we've got it all together, especially in this day with the social media world and all the stuff where everybody lives this perfect little life.
Yep.
I call it the highlight reels.
Well, yeah, and
they
it's
live
all
the
the
highlight
filters.
reels, yeah, and they show all the good, the high times. And again, I know people do share bad news, but all I'm saying is with that, I think it's that much more pressure that we got to appear to have it all together.
Yep.
And the reality is, it doesn't matter who you are, you're going to face a time that you're going to have some struggles along the way. And I always say it this way: that's good news.
Yeah.
Because if you're in the struggle, it still matters.
That's right.
Right?
You haven't given up, right?
Yeah. If you ever stop struggling, fighting for what you believe in, or fighting for what you know is good, fighting for what you know is true, then you're done. But I just believe that couples sometimes have to make sure, whether it's parenting or their marriage relationship or in-laws or whatever.
That's right.
You have to be willing to reach out and take the initiative.
Right.
And to be small, you say it that way, to be weak so that you can be strong, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I agree. I just know that, there was this phrase, I don't know if it's in the sports world or what, no shame. I mean, I would see it on T-shirts or something. And I don't know what all that was about, maybe in culture, but I think we could.
I think there needs to be some more shame in our culture.
Well, I've seen that saying. I've seen that on like shirts. I've seen that on caps, whatever. And I don't know, honestly. I don't
know if that's in good light or bad light.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I don't know, the connotation or where that comes from. But I think in the body of Christ, I think in our homes, in our families, that we need to kind of take that concept and say, all right, I will not be crippled. I'll not be held back by shame. And refuse in that to get the help I need or to reach out for help. I just feel like lately, and you probably have too, I don't know, but I just know personally I've had several people reach out to me about their relationship, about their marriage, and it's almost like, they come to you with this like just afraid to even say anything or
like
really with their head downcast. Absolutely. Embarrassed to even ask. And, I'm always quick to say, look, I mean, don't be embarrassed. We all need help. We wouldn't be where we are today if some people in our lives hadn't stepped in.
Yeah.
If we hadn't had godly counsel, if we hadn't had, people that took the time with us to help us, to lead us, to give us direction and wisdom. So I think out there listening today, come on, if this is you and you know that things are not as good as they could be or should be, man, you need to reach out. If you have a good, strong body of believers, I'm sure that there's a pastor there's somebody on staff there.
Somebody in the body.
Yeah. Maybe a fellow, believer, might not even be a pastor or something that can help you, that can speak into your life, and just be willing to step out and do that.
Yeah. Basically what we're talking about today is getting help, right?
Yeah.
And I think that all of us realize that, man, we do strive. We want to reach for what God has in mind or what God's best is for our lives. I think that with that, we will encounter resistance. We'll encounter
for sure
difficulties, but I think you gotta deal with those things. You got to be willing to reach out. Again, I used the word initiative already, but you do have to take the initiative to ask for counsel, to ask for help. And
we've said it through the years, or I've said it, I know, multiple times. Somebody's got to be the hero. And what I mean by that is somebody's got to be willing, you said, to let go of the pride, to say, all right, I'm not waiting on him anymore. I'm not waiting on her anymore. I'm not just waiting on a miracle from the Lord to drop out of the sky. There's some initiative that I'm going to take myself to see that things can change, or to see that things can get better. So
Let's talk about some things that just real life issues, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some ways to get through, right? To break through,
some things
to
that
break out of
it'll
these
take.
seasons maybe of difficulty or challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I've always said this, anything that you face in life, resistance is part of it. And if you don't have resistance along the way, you're probably not really trying to reach your full potential.
They're probably not growing, right?
Yeah, I think that anything that you reach for, that you strive for, if it's a worthy opponent, so to speak, there's worthy resistance. It probably tells you there's something greater in store for your life.
Yeah, I mean, you can think about it, in the exercise world. Everybody's exercising right now because the first month of the year, everybody's exercising, right?
New Year's resolutions. Right?
Yeah, but I mean, if you don't have any resistance, you're not building any strength, right? Not building any muscle. And sometimes I think we look at resistance and conflict as our enemy when it's really not. It really can be the boost, I don't know, for lack of another word, that kind of gets us to the next thing, to the next season of our life, or to the next thing that God has for us. So come on. One of the things, I think you kind of mentioned it with pride a little bit ago, but what does it take? It really takes some humility in our life to step out, right? To ask for help. It takes some honesty, some realizing, or acknowledging that's not as good as it could be. Right? Yeah. We're not experiencing everything in our life that we believe God has for us. So I think those kind of go hand in hand, but so important in making a difference, in making that or taking that first step. Let me say that right.
Humility is an invitation into what is next, right? God resists the proud. In 1 Peter 5, he resists the proud, but he gives grace to the humble. So again, I think humility of heart, and it's not something you can just pretend, Danny, right?
Right.
Humility is something that you have to really have in your heart. That that you have to really humble yourself. You can do something. Right. Again, taking initiative is humbling, right? Mm-hmm. But again, I think that I've always thought of humility as an invitation into what's next in your life, because God says that He's going to resist your arrogance, your pride, your proud
I don't want to be resisted by God, man.
But the way we do that is we take on a heart and even an action, or we do what will be humbling. And again, through that, God will give us grace that we need. So, I don't know if that makes complete sense, but I do think it's something that has to happen for us to take those steps to reach out.
Right. Humbling ourselves and really just being honest and realizing where we are. I think another one, I kind of mentioned this starting out, but it's just resisting isolation. Because what shame does, it causes us to hide. It causes us to isolate. And we all know we're created for relationship. And come on, when you're in this intimate, most personal, closest relationship in a marriage, other than the one that you have with God, that when you begin to isolate from one another, I mean, that's a dangerous place to be in, right?
Sure it is. But again, it's throughout time that's been the case, right?
It's always been the enemy's
when
trick.
Adam and Eve got in trouble, what they do? They hid. Their shame, they're covered. They they covered. They took fig leaves and covered their nakedness. So again.
And we do that from one another, right?
Oh, we isolate. We do. I think that, and that isolation leads us to a place that we don't engage other people. That's why we don't reach out for help. Is we just kind of isolate. Before you know it, we feel like we're all alone, and then it kind of goes like this: we isolate, and then we begin to feel alone. Then we begin to blame everybody else for our isolation. And the reality is
that's a troublesome process, right? But that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do.
I think that it's easy for people in isolation. You can have problems and troubles, and you're the one that's hiding. You're the one that's withdrawing, and then it's about everybody else.
Yeah.
And the reality is, all it would have taken is the humility or the initiative to say, you know what, I'm not gonna sit here until I die.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna wait.
Right.
In isolation. I'm not gonna I'm not going to hide. I'm gonna get out there and I'm going to find the people or the person that can help me.
Yeah.
To move, or even as a couple, I think that it's easy for couples to kind of, just kind of isolate themselves, and they be going through stuff, or they be fighting it out at home, and they, they hide and
they keep it covered from
they
everybody
keep
else.
It covered from everybody, and before you know it, all of a sudden, they come out, and it's too late.
Yeah.
We're separating. But from the outside, they've hidden it very well. They've isolated themselves.
That's so true. Yeah.
They've kept their covers up. They've kept their fig leaves out, and nobody really knows. But again, that's something that you got to have help. You got to reach out to people.
Yeah, and not be ashamed to do so.
Yeah.
Right. I think as well, and we say this a lot on the podcast and in teaching, you got to know where to go. You got to know who to reach out to.
I thought you was going Kenny Rogers there for a minute.
What?
You got to know when to hold up. You got to know when to fold up.
Yeah, that's not exactly where I was going.
You got to know when to walk away.
You got to know when to run.
You got to know when to run.
No, don't walk away in your relationship. Don't run away. Don't walk away. Just be willing to face what you need to face. But go to the right source. Go to the right people, because I think, when we're in that place and there's trouble, sometimes, maybe we say things to people and end up getting some counsel that we didn't need.
Yeah.
Yeah, just some negative counsel. Somebody that'll kind of just, you cry on their shoulder and they cry on yours. We kind of comfort each other in our misery, right?
Misery loves company.
Absolutely. That saying's still so true. Yeah. But you got to know where, and I think I put some scripture in here. I want us to read several of them, because I think the Bible is so clear. Number one, about the fact that we will need counsel in our life. And number two, about the importance of going to the right place for it. Because there's a lot of counsel out there. There are a lot of resources. And, just like we believe this podcast is a resource for you, your first resource is the Bible, obviously. But you have to watch the resources, because there are a lot of resources that come from, that just, they'll get your mind twisted. Right? In the information
what you're saying, though, is just you use the word just now, it's the information.
Yeah.
There's so much information out there, but it does not mean it's true.
Exactly.
There's so much, they call it misinformation now.
Yep, I've heard of that. I've heard of misinformation.
It's the reality that, that people, there's a lot of information. It just may be that information's not grounded in
That's right.
In truth.
Exactly. I told somebody that yesterday. Look, I don't care where the information came from. If it doesn't line up with God's word, then it is misinformation. Right. So it doesn't matter what source that came from. So you got to know the source. Look at this. First of all, Galatians 6:2 says, share each other's burdens. I mean, the picture there is that as believers, we're to share. We're to find people that'll lock arms with us and, fight the enemy for your home, for your family, for your marriage, right? Proverbs. Read some of those to us. Can you see them?
I would rather you do that, but
you can't see them.
I can see them pretty good, but again,
okay. Proverbs 11:14. Where there's no counsel, look, people fail, but in the multitude of counselors, there's safety.
That's so good. Yeah,
I love it. I mean, you try to do it on your own, all by yourself,
and you don't have to. That's the thing. Go on. We run out of time.
Proverbs 24:6. For by wise guidance, you can wage your war. In an abundance of counselors, there's victory. Look, you're not fighting the fight by yourself, right? Good. Proverbs 12:15, the way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to counsel. Love those.
You know that point right there. Maybe that's the reason sometimes we don't reach out for help. It's because maybe we're being foolish to think that we've got it all right.
Ooh,
every one of us need help. Every one of us can be wrong.
Absolutely.
We can move in the wrong direction. We can have the wrong ideas. But again, it's so important. Again, the word's very clear and directing. Gives us directives to seek out, search for help, look for counsel. And in that, you got to know, look, guys, you got to know this. You're not the only ones, regardless of what you're going through.
That's right.
You're not the first ones. You won't be the last ones. What you're going through. There are people that probably been through similar experiences that probably can give you some wisdom as to how
That's
to navigate.
so true. That's so true. And can I just say, in all of that, just remain teachable.
Yeah.
Look, when you get to a place that you are unwilling to receive counsel or unwilling to be teachable, that's a dangerous place to be. And I think you said this as we started, but I think it's so important as we close out and get out of here today. Asking for help is not a sign of weakness.
Right.
It's not. In fact, I really think it's a sign of strength. It's a sign of courage because you're willing to step out, from the shame, from behind the filter, so to speak, and say, all right, we're going to reach out for help. And it takes strength to do that. It takes courage to do that.
Yeah.
So we just encourage you in that today.
Yeah. Let me again go back. Just lessons again.
Mm-hmm.
You remember Peter's walking on the water, Matthew 14. You remember he's walking on the water and he sees the storm around him. He knows the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what saved him? It was when he said, Lord,
when he
asked
asked for help. Yeah.
Help me.
Yeah.
And again, if you're in a place of struggle or if you're in a place where, boy, just feel like you're in the struggle, don't be afraid to ask.
That's right.
Find help. Ask somebody. Ask a friend. Ask for a friend, right?
Yeah.
And again, seek out godly counsel. Words are very clear that we're never alone. We're not, listen, it's not good for man to be alone. So
That's
we just
right.
encourage you to realize,
Thank God. Yeah.
find somebody to fight with you
No shame,
for
right?
the right thing.
No shame. Get up from where you are. If you're listening to me and I'm talking to you, we're talking to you, you need help and you haven't asked for it, get up from where you are today, make a phone call, reach
That's
out
good.
to somebody,
Make a call.
get the help you need because God's not finished with you yet.
That's right.
That's right. Better things and better days in front of you.
Always thank you for joining us. You can still register
That's
for
right.
our Marriage Matters Getaway. Room block
Yep.
is gone, but you find your own
So
place. Again, you
Yeah.
can stay probably if there's room. Our hotel may be booked up, but again, you can find a place to stay. Still register at homematters.family.
Yeah, just a few weeks away,
Yep.
February 19th through 21st.
Can't
We would
wait.
love to have you there. Man, we love you so
Yep.
much. We'll see you next time.
Always remember, your home matters. See you then.